Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Beauty Beacons. It has been too long. So today we are going to talk about Cher. Do I even need to explain who Cher is? I feel like she is one of the biggest superstars in history. She is the only artist ever to have a #1 hit for 6 consecutive decades, which is super impressive. She first rose to fame in 1965 in the folk pop duo Sonny and Cher. Started her solo career around the same time, but it only really took off a couple years later. Cher is a very successful musician, television presenter, actress, fashion icon, not to mention. She greatly influenced the fashion of the 70s, and she is just an absolutely iconic figure in the history of pop culture. Her look has changed a lot over the years. Another thing she is kind of known for is her extensive use of plastic surgery. She is, I think, well into her 70s by now, and I have to say she looks pretty amazing. Although her look is very over the top, and that is something that is very typical of her. Her look has always been very over the top. Her fashions have been super extravagant, very unique and very out there. She was also one of the first women to sport crop tops, or kind of like an exposed belly area. She is also the person who made bell-bottom trousers come into fashion, and just there are so many things that have been inspired by her. Not to mention, of course, the long, straight, center-parting hairstyle that is very iconic of the 70s. And that is actually the look that I chose to go for today to try and recreate in my Beauty Beacons episode. Cher and I, our face shapes couldn't be further apart from each other, so I ended up looking nothing like her still. But I feel like if you have a face shape that's a bit more similar to hers and follow all the steps that I've done, you will end up looking pretty much like her, and it gives off the Cher vibes in any case. So I decided to go for the sleek, straight hair 70s look. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you how to recreate Cher's iconic 70s look. So let's get started straight away, and we're gonna jump into the makeup first. Now, it's quite a heavy makeup application, so I'm gonna start with a primer. I'm gonna use this one right here and just prime my face, get my skin ready for foundation, which is what I'm going to apply next. So I'm gonna go in with a good amount of a full coverage foundation and just apply this all over my face. And then I'm going to take a concealer that is slightly lighter, and I'm going to apply this on my under eye area, and I'm also going to take this down to my cheeks. And at this point I'm already starting to kind of try and sculpt my cheeks out a little bit more. She has very prominent cheekbones that are absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to try and kind of give a hint of that on my face as well. So highlighting the top of my cheekbone helps with that as a first step. Next up is a layer of face powder that I'm just going to dust over my entire skin. After which I'm going to take a contour powder and continue working on those cheekbones. So I'm going to use this contour powder to kind of carve out a bit more of a cheekbone, I guess. So I'm going to apply it a little bit lower than my natural cheekbone sits. And I'm going to make quite a heavy line here that I'm going to blend out, of course. And then right underneath my cheek, I'm going to try and kind of sweep this into almost a U shape so that I really get that round apple cheek in front here. Alright, when that is done, I'm going to move on to the eye makeup first. So for my eyebrows, Cher has these very typical thin 70s eyebrows that I'm going to have to try and fake. So I'm going to take an eyebrow gel and I'm going to comb my brows towards the center, kind of. So I'm going to comb from the top down and from the bottom up to make my eyebrows look as thin as possible. And that's all I'm gonna do to them. So then moving on to the eyeshadow, I'm gonna use some colored eyeshadow today. But first I wanna make sure that everything I use is shimmery. The 70s were the era of shimmery makeup, and you can very clearly see shimmery makeup on Cher as well. So I'm gonna start with a highlighter here that is very shimmery, almost metallic. And I'm going to apply that on my brow bone. And I'm already going to try and apply this in a shape that is a bit more similar to her brow bone shape, so it's a bit of a droopy shape, I guess, and I'm going to try and recreate that a little bit. So next up, I'm going in with this shimmery, what I thought would be purpley color. It turned out to be a bit more pink and reddish, so I just ran with that in the end. But I'm gonna apply this all over the moving part of my eyelid. Now, if you want to go for a really iconic 70s Cher look, you probably want to go with either blue eyeshadow or purple. Those are the colors I've seen her wear the most in pictures, but more natural colors, or pretty much just any color will work. So next up, I'm gonna take a slightly darker color. I'm using this brown one right here, and I'm gonna use that as a shadow in my crease. So I am going to again make that kind of diagonal line that is going to make my eyelid look a little bit more droopy. And I'm pulling it all the way up to my eyebrow and then into kind of my nasal bone, again to try and kind of imitate her eye shape a little bit more. So then I went back with a little bit more of a glittery, shimmery color because I thought that first one I used wasn't glittery enough. So I'm just going to go over and get a bit more shine on my eyelids. So next up is false eyelashes, and for this, preferably you want to use the longest eyelashes you can find. I didn't have a set that was absolutely perfect. You want a set of eyelashes that isn't too thick but is very long. So this is the best match that I could find. So I'm just going to apply this set right here. And then I'm going to use some individual eyelashes on my bottom lash line. And next up is blush, and you want to be very, very generous with this. So I use this one right here, and I'm just going to sweep that all over my cheekbones, my new cheekbones that is. So that's again a bit lower than I would normally apply it. And after this, I did decide to go over with a little bit of a highlighter to make this again more shimmery, metallic almost looking. And the last thing is a lipstick, and you want to go for something again shimmery and preferably a nude or more of a brownish color. So I'm going to use this liquid lipstick right here, and there's the makeup look all done. So moving on to the hair. Now the most important thing is super long hair, so I'm going to need a set of hair extensions for that. So I'm going to use this set right here, and I'm just going to apply that into my hair. I'm going to use the entire set because Cher's hair was really beautiful and thick back then. Not to mention super long and super straight. So after the extensions are in, I'm gonna take a straightening iron and just straighten all of this. Is also going to make the extensions blend with my own hair a little bit better. And of course, you want to make sure the hair sits in a center parting. Now for me personally, I'm still growing out bangs or a fringe. So I need to pin that to the side with a few bobby pins just to make sure that it stays to the side. But of course you can skip this step if you don't have bangs. And there is the entire Cher look complete. It takes a bit of time. It's quite time consuming, especially the makeup, but it is really not that complicated of a look. Now for the outfit, you want to go with something extravagant, preferably. In the 70s, she wore a lot of those kind of tops that you tie like in between the breasts. Exposed belly in any case, low-rise jeans, bell bottoms, colorful things, but you could also go with something a little bit more casual like jeans and a black blouse like I chose to do today. So yeah, that's the look guys. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Beauty Beacons. If you have any requests for historical beauty icons that you would like me to recreate the looks of, please feel free to leave a comment and I will look through, pick someone out for next time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for loads more beauty and lifestyle content. If you would like to support me through Patreon or my merch store, there will be links in the description box below. Thank you so much for your support. There is another video here that I think you might also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.